If you're a regular subscriber to this channel, you know that I regularly cover all sorts of privacy-focused projects. In this video, we're going to be encountering another privacy-focused project, which came about because of a particular application that they have that I started using, which really does enhance your privacy. If you decide that you want to preserve your privacy and make sure all the data that goes in and out of your computer is encrypted, then check out NordVPN. My affiliate link will give you something like a 2/3 discount on some of their packages.
TokenMetrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto. And before I introduce my guest and we start talking about this privacy-focused project, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT. And Twitter, I'll tell you, Twitter is so exciting now. It is so interesting, the stuff that is coming out on Twitter. So definitely follow me on Twitter. Also subscribe to my Telegram announcements channel, Crypto Rich Official, links in the description below. And please come and subscribe to me on bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey. I post extra material there that I don't post anywhere else. Hey, Kee, thank you so much for making yourself available. You are...
Yeah, no worries. Great to be here.
Thank you. You are the founder, co-founder, lead dev, something or other.
Yeah, CTO at Oxen. And we also work on a couple of other things. So LokiNet and Session, I'm the CTO there as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
So CTO at Oxen, and that's a cryptocurrency with a privacy-focused crypto.
Correct, yeah.
And LokiNet, which is, I don't even know what it is. I just know it makes it much better.
Yeah, well, LokiNet is an onion routing network.
An onion router network.
Yeah.
In English. Right? And a router network in American or Australian, right? Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, all right. And then the other application is?
Session. So Session is a messaging application, an encrypted messaging application.
Okay. Well, look, what I'd like to do is to cover each project. We'll do Oxen first, then Session, and then LokiNet. And I'm very likely to post these as discrete videos to make it all the more important for people to subscribe. bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey. Okay, so you're the CTO for Oxen, and Oxen is a privacy-focused cryptocurrency, and the ticker symbol is OXEN?
Yes, yeah, that's the ticker.
Okay, and when did this project launch?
So we actually started in early 2018. So the team kind of got together in 2017, and we were talking about different ideas and started the project in 2018. So yeah, quite a while ago now. We're coming up to our 5-year anniversary.
Right, okay. And how did you launch? You an ICO or a...
Yeah, so we originally launched doing a kind of a pre-sale, or we pre-mined some coins and sold them to venture capitalists in 2018. And we've been running off that money kind of ever since.
You've not run off with it?
No.
You're still here building and building? Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Correct, yeah.
All right.
We put a lot of things in our white paper and we wanted to do all of them. So going through those things has taken us a lot of years. But yeah, okay. Our heart is in the right place.
All right. Well, tell us about Oxen. Although I could just fire questions at you. Just tell us about Oxen. What do people know? Like a broad overview of it.
Yeah, so the broad overview is that it's a fork of Monero originally. So it shares the same anonymity system as Monero, using ring signatures to provide privacy to each transaction. But we actually build on top of Monero this second layer of nodes, and we call them service nodes, but they're similar to masternodes in other crypto networks. And basically these masternodes run our 2 other applications called LokiNet and Session, and that's kind of what distinguishes us from just being another Monero clone. We actually kind of incentivize this second layer network. And that second layer network gives us a lot of ability to run applications, but also feed back into the coin. So, for example, we have abilities that other coins don't have. For example, the ability to send transactions instantly. So transactions can confirm and send instantly. And that's because our service node network is able to kind of lock the coins from being spendable instantly. And we're also a proof of stake network as well. And that leans on that network of nodes too. So we don't use mining. We actually, like Ethereum, we have a network of nodes and they decide the next block that's going to be created, and, they share out the rewards as well. So yeah, I mean, those are probably some of the more unique things about the coin side of things and what it enables on the higher level applications that we build as well.
Okay, now that's very interesting. So so I knew nothing about Oxen before we spoke today. I know about LockyNet. I'm using LockyNet. I think it's brilliant. So Oxen's a fork of Monero, so it uses ring signatures. And is it like it has a smart contract layer, or it's not quite that versatile and complex, but it allows you to build applications?
Yeah, so it doesn't really have a smart contract layer on top of it, but it has a complex enough kind of system, or a consensus system built in, so that we can incentivize this network of nodes. So essentially, if you run a service node of the network and you act as a server for LokiNet, and you act as a server for Session, then you'll receive a reward for doing that. And it has a staking network as well, where you stake and you run those applications, you receive a reward for doing that. So it's actually that layer of nodes that you build applications on top of. You don't actually build them on top of the blockchain itself. The blockchain incentivizes those nodes, and then you run the applications on top of those nodes.
Right. Okay. And it's a proof of stake, which makes it distinct from Monero. And is it as proof of stake? Do I have to be a node holder, or can I just have a wallet and hold it in my wallet?
Yeah, so it's I would say like the most similar system that it is to is like, say, Ethereum proof of stake, where if you want to be one of the people who is earning a reward in the network, you have to participate in being a validator on the network too, or running one of our service nodes. So you can't just get money by putting it in a wallet and not doing anything. You need to contribute to a node, or contribute to the running of a node, and then you can earn rewards by doing that.
Okay. Now, if I contribute to a node, like what happens with Ethereum, I mean, do I still hold my private keys? What happens if the validator goes down?
Yeah, so right now you can have up to 10 contributors to a node, or 9 contributors, plus one person who's running the node, and it's completely non-custodial as well, and it's done on the blockchain itself. So they never get custody of your funds if you're just contributing to the node and someone else is running it. So it's really a safe system, and we don't have slashing like Ethereum does. So even if the node operator does something wrong, basically what happens is all of the funds are frozen for 30 days, and you don't earn any rewards, but you'll get them back after 30 days of normal behavior, basically.
Okay, and is there a minimum for staking, and what's the reward percentage?
Yeah, so the minimum for staking right now is 15,000 Oxen, which I guess at today's prices is probably around $2,500 US or something like that, or around that price. But you can have up to 9 contributors to a node, so it'll be 15,000 divided by 9 or 10 if you're counting the original contributor. So it gets down into that kind of 1,000 Oxen range, and then also you can have nodes which say one person takes up 10,000 and one person takes up 4,000, then you'll have a 1,000 left, or you can have up to 500 left, and a contributor can put their money into that, or their Oxen into that node. In terms of ROI, it's about 17% per annum. 17, not 70. Yeah.
Not 7,000.
So it's pretty, it's fairly sustainable rate. We're not giving like kind of crazy returns here. This isn't like a million APY or whatever DeFi protocols give out these days.
People would need to watch my Osmosis videos for those, okay? There is some silly APY available through their DeFi applications. Okay, and then what's the maximum number of coins that'll be in circulation?
So it's similar to Monero in that our supply will grow infinitely, and that's because we need to reward the nodes for continuing to provide services to the network. But the hope is that we'll be able to offset some of that new emission with burned emission. So we really try to get some of our applications like Session and LokiNet to actually burn Oxen. That's part of our future planning in terms of Session monetization. But the hope is that I think there's about 10,000 Oxen emitted per day today. And the hope is that the more our applications get used, the more we can kind of offset those new coins that are being created by burning existing coins, by charging for our services in a roundabout way.
Right. Okay. And right now, I know LockieNet is free. I know because I'm using it for free, which is good. Right. So
yeah,
I got to say, I'll have all the links in the description below. And people really should check out this project. In the very, very least, get yourself LockieNet, and you'll find out why when we talk about that. And this isn't to say don't get yourself Session. I just haven't used it. Okay. So and then Monero has a declining emission rate, like the number of new coins that are created reduces slowly over time. Does yours have that as well as the burn?
So we're currently fixed at 16.5 Oxen per block. So it doesn't increase or decrease past that point. But obviously, that 16.5% will become a lower percentage of the total coin supply over time as new coins are emitted. So, if you have 50 million coins and you have 16.5 per day or 16.5 per block, then that's a greater proportion or a lesser proportion than if you have 100 million coins, right? And you have 16.5 per block. So, naturally the inflation rate will go down over time, the percentage rate, but the actual amount that's being emitted will stay the same.
Okay, and that'll have an upward pressure on the price. Possibly.
Yeah, well, the hope is always that the burn exceeds the new emissions created, so you're actually deflating in supply. So, if the applications, if Session and LockieNet are used enough and we're able to monetize them properly, then it should be that we're actually decreasing in supply. That's not the case yet, but that's the hope in the future.
Sure. Okay. And then you said the settlement is instant, which is just amazing, because I know I did some transactions with Monero a few months ago in and out of my Exodus wallet, and it was like 5 hours to update. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. So, but with you, the nodes lock it so that while the consensus is being done, those coins can't be spent. So it's pretty much guaranteed. Job done. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So it's very similar to in Dash. They actually have this system as well with their master nodes, which basically lock coins after they've been sent immediately, so that if there's a blockchain reorganization, those coins will still be a valid transaction. So you don't actually get that transaction rolled back.
Okay, so you have ring signatures, CT signatures, whatever it's called, and stealth addresses like Monero does. Any other particular privacy features?
No, we're basically rolling with exactly what Monero is rolling with right now. We feel that that's probably the best, the best kind of trade-off between privacy and scalability right now. Definitely interested in some of the zero-knowledge proof stuff that's coming out as well. But for scalability reasons, I don't think it's quite there. I think Zcash with Halo is probably the closest to having a really usable zero-knowledge proof system. But we're still working our way towards that.
Right. Okay. Zero knowledge proof. ZK Snarks. That's what you
correct.
Mean. Yeah. I'd invite you to take a look at Pirate Chain if you haven't already. I just have to mention that I'm one of the crew at Pirate Chain, where every single transaction is ZK Snarks. Every single one. There's no option for transparency. Anyway, if somebody, actually, I'll come to this one later. So tell us about your team. Who are you? Are you volunteers? Do you get paid? Do you have private funding? Where did the money come from? Where's it going?
Yeah, so Oxen raised money in 2018, and that was all put into the OPTF, which is essentially, it's a non-for-profit foundation in Australia. And it has a binding constitution as to the activities that we can kind of perform. So we're in kind of a highly regulated space. And we also have kind of, documents which tell us what we can and can't do. Most of that funding was raised from venture capitalists during kind of the ICO boom. The team, so we still have 3 of the original founders of the project. There's 4 founders. We have me, I'm the CTO. We have Chris, who's the CEO, and Josh, who's on marketing, and then we have probably another about 20 people on staff. So There's probably about 6 or 7 people in marketing, probably about the same amount of devs, and then probably about the same amount of operations staff as well. So yeah, it's a pretty large operation, mostly out of Melbourne, but also some people based in the US as well. And basically just, working on the software that we've been developing over the last 3 or 4 years.
That's from what you've said, it sounds like a pretty well-run, like I said, regulated, tight ship, because you haven't blown all your funds. You're still building and building. I know locking it, I think, is a great application. I can see the advantages that Oxen has over Monero, from what you've told me. I've never used it. I don't have any Oxen. So it says something about the foundation that you're building. But how come you're not bigger yet? How come no Lambos yet?
Yeah, I think we have maybe been too focused on the tech in the past. And a lot of this network has taken a long time to build as well. So we probably spent about the first 2 years of the project building up this service node network without any applications on top of it. So Lokinet didn't exist, Session didn't exist. It was basically just Oxen the coin. And I found that it's pretty hard to get traction just as a privacy coin these days. And that's why we're focusing so much more on our applications, because if we can get people onboarded onto the applications without necessarily knowing about the coin, and then at a later point in time monetize those users and push value back into the coin, then I think we can really develop a sustainable network. And that's what we've been trying to do over time. So maybe not that many people have heard about Oxen, but Session has 450,000 monthly active users, and Lokinet is growing really fast as well. So those are the spaces where we focus most of our attention, and a little bit less on the coin side of things.
Right. Okay. And I suppose people can find out. You'll have a Telegram or a Discord channel, and Twitter, of course. And I'll have all the links in the description below, and people can get involved and see what's happening with this project. Now, apart from Sessions and Lokinet, do you have any other applications that you're going to be working on in the future? Do you reckon that you can tell us about?
So those are pretty much the main ones that we are working on right now. There is opportunities for other people to come in and build additional service node applications. We haven't seen too much of that happening right now, but I think most of our efforts are going to be focused on Lokinet and Session over the next few years, and I don't see any other applications on the horizon, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to let us know about? Oh, I got to ask you, if people wanted to go and get some Oxen, where's the best place to get Oxen?
Yeah, so Oxen's on KuCoin. That's probably the easiest place to get it. We're also on Bittrex and TradeOgre as well, if you trade there.
Yeah, I was thinking TradeOgre, because TradeOgre seems to have just about every single privacy coin going.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is one of those ones.
Right. Okay. And by the way, anybody watching, none of this is financial advice. You should check this out. Who knows where Oxen will go, right, in the future? Okay. Anything else you want to let us know, Kee, before we finish up?
No, I would just say look into Oxen, especially if you're interested in one of the other applications that we work on, like Lokinet or Session. It's the network that powers everything behind what we're doing there. So if you want to support the project, that's probably the easiest way for you to do so if you like one of the other applications that we're building. So if you go and visit Oxen.io, you can see what we're doing and what we're up to.
Great. Absolutely. And we're going to have a conversation about Session, which is a private messaging app, and also about Lokinet, which is an onion router, and which currently is free. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I look forward to speaking to you again. I'll have all the links in the description below. I invite people to go check this out. Make sure you subscribe to bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey so you can find out about Sessions and Lokinet. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with big fat Oxen profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.